What if you could transform your entire law firm in 12 months? That is a really provocative notion that our special guest today, Doug Hastings, is going to expand on. So before we bring on Doug, I want to give you guys a brief background on Doug. Doug Hastings, rather, is a seasoned attorney with over 30 years experience in driving law firm growth. He's worked with tons of attorneys nationwide. He's previously been admitted to the State Bar of California, the New York Bar, even the U.S. Federal District Court. And since then, Doug has developed the Law Practice Growth System. And it's a proven program to help attorneys increase revenue, expand their client base, and build, most importantly, referral relationships. Through personal coaching and on-demand sessions, Doug provides actionable strategies for growing your practice and accelerating your success. And like with all programs that we host, we don't collect affiliate fees. This has nothing to do with generating commissions from other services. We just want to promote services that we know work for other attorneys and magnify them and tell everyone we know about them. Also, this program is not about Abogados Now. If you're curious about Hispanic marketing, go to abogadosnow.com or email me directly, hugo@abogadosnow.com, if you're curious about Spanish marketing. So that being said, thanks for hopping on to today's program, Doug.
Yeah, my pleasure, Hugo. Love what you all are doing there. It's really very dynamic and a very interesting niche that you're focusing on.
You know, appreciate that. And so one of the reasons that we were super excited to talk to you is because you have this pragmatic, 12-month program to essentially, totally change your law firm in those 12 months. It's generate new business, generate better operations, generate just better business practices for business development. But, when you and I spoke last week, there was something that I thought was more interesting to the pragmatic workflows. It was how you speak about mindset and how you speak about the why. I wonder if you can just start with that. When you talk to attorneys who are looking to transform their law firm, they're looking to grow, they're looking to evolve, they're looking to kind of get more sophisticated in their business acumen. It starts with the why. Can you talk about that?
Sure, Hugo, and what a great prompt. And, it really is a fundamental issue. And I know I practiced for a number of years, and I've been doing business development and coaching for, 15 years or so. So I think I can speak with some authority as an attorney trying to grow a practice.
Yeah.
I did that with several firms and several offices. And, we're busy. Time is you're always under a time crunch. That's one issue that attorneys say, I'm just too busy to do this. The second thing is we went to law school, not business school. And I think one of your previous guests mentioned that on a webinar, which is very kind of fundamental. You have a high level of expertise in a very complicated area of society, law. But how to be a business person, how to grow your practice is something maybe you haven't been coached on or exposed to. So this all leads up to why, Hugo. I'm not really just going off on a tangent here. So until you really, I think, attorneys back up and say, why do I want to grow my practice? Is it to make more money? I'm trying to add a couple of partners. I'm opening a second office. I'm trying to make partner. Really identifying that why helps you when you're thinking about growth. Because as attorneys, we'll say, oh, I should do this. I'm supposed to do this. Or if you're in a big firm that says you must do this, a business plan or growth or create 3 new clients or whatever. When it's kind of that mandate, we're pretty good about not doing it. So if you own that why, like, you know what, I want to make more money and I have no problem with that. I want to open a second office. Whatever your why is, now that mindset switches from must or should or have to I want to. I want to because I now know myself what I'm trying to achieve. And that might sound kind of corny, but I think if lawyers take a moment to really get that kind of foundation, then all the other stuff makes sense. Why? Because you want to.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Simon Sinek?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. He has that book. What is it called? I'm trying to find it. Start with Why. And
Okay.
One of the quotes he has in there is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so I love that quote because like you may not need to tell your clients that you want to buy a yacht or put your kids through college, but you can certainly sell the intention behind that you really care enough to invest resources in your time and your energy and your attention on on these cases as opposed to just chasing this, tangible goal, which is important, but not all that important to your clients.
Yeah, and it's a psychological thing that really will help drive us forward and move, like I said, move beyond I should do this to I want to do this.
What are the most common whys that when you talk to attorneys, and we work with a lot of solo attorneys. It's not to discount the medium-sized law firms and the large law firms that work with us, but I feel like this is more relevant to the solo firm. What is the law firm, like the solo law firm, looking for? What is their why?
Yeah. Overall, usually it's I'd like to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I have no problem with that. We spend a lot of time and effort and money on becoming lawyers, so why not? But I think closely following that, especially with solos or smaller firms, is becoming more efficient with growth strategies. When you're solo, you're buying toner cartridge and you're paying for the parking spot and you're worried about health insurance. All those business things kind of sap your energy and your time. And so, I've got 10 minutes for marketing, or I'll get to it at some point. So yeah, getting more efficient and getting more intentional, I think, is the second why that usually applies to solos or smaller firms.
Do you find that the why that's measurable is more important than the one that's a little more ambiguous, just because you can track it and there's just like a shared, like, common goal that you can measure with the attorney and the attorney can themselves gauge themselves on?
Yes, maybe not so much the why. The why really is something that's kind of a mission statement kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the other stuff that we're going to talk through here definitely has a tracking element to it. That is very tangible, and you can, at the end of 12 months or 6 months or ever often you want to check in on your deliverables or your I think you should track it, as a matter of fact.
I think you have some materials that you want to show on the stage, so why don't we start with tracking sources of new matters, new clients, etc. Let's talk about like the reverse engineering to the why. So let's start with this slide. Focusing, like focused outreach. Why do I care?
Yeah, which I like your statement there, reverse engineering. So if I talk to an attorney and they initially say, I want to grow my business, or I want to be better at outreach, or I want to take better client care. Okay, let's back up and look at why you want to do that. And then let's back up one more time about why you want to do all of this. So we kind of talked about that first why.
Right.
Here's the second one. And these statistics are, I don't know, I would say maybe not for solos. Maybe it's more of a medium or larger firm. But gosh, I'd love to hear from your audience on these are exactly my numbers. When we look at the first three of them there, when law firms track, where do my new matters come from? 65% of the time they come from existing clients, and that may be more of your business attorney or a corporate attorney. Hopefully, if you're doing criminal law, you don't have a lot of repeat business out of that same client. And then 25% of them come through sources that you already know, referrals from people that you know. So most new matters, 80% of new matters, come from existing clients and people you already know. And then the third box over there is, where do new clients come from? If you track this, and it's really valuable for solos or any lawyer to track this, where do my new clients come from? And you'll find that probably 75% of them come from people that you already know. So new matters and new clients come from identifiable sources. And this kind of is your reverse engineering, Hugo, that, okay, if I know where my matters and my clients come from, then I know where I can market. I mean, it's really, really fundamental to know where your business comes from, kind of before or maybe as you're doing it, because it'll really help you focus and be intentional. If I'm worried about new clients, and I realize that most of my new clients come from people I already know, let me make sure I'm really marketing to that group really well before going and doing some brand new thing I've never tried before and ignoring the fact where most of your clients are actually coming from. So I hope that makes sense, looking at matters and new clients.
Yeah, no, it totally does. And I think a lot of attorneys we speak to think that they have a leads problem. You know, that, oh, I don't have enough leads that turn into matters and consequently cases. And I oftentimes ask them, like, how strong are your referral networks, especially if they're solos, they're really conscious about budget. Why would I want to sell them a service that I know could theoretically work for them when in reality their energies are better spent investing on their referral networks, building relationships with other law firms, having a better funnel for previous clientele and an outreach method, which I know we're going to get into today. So I think it's like, all my agency colleagues are probably telling me, like, dude, shut up. Like, no. But the reality is, like, don't invest in marketing, paid ads, high risk channels until you have the fundamentals, which is like a predictable referral network in place. Would you agree with that, Doug?
No, totally. I'm so glad you said that, Hugo. Yeah, I totally agree. And, if you look at that fourth box, 92% of the people that are looking for an attorney seek a referral.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And if you think of ourselves as consumers of, I'm buying a new pickup truck or a bicycle, or I need an attorney, we all jump on Amazon and check those little reviews.
Yeah.
If it's something more major than that, hey, I'm looking to buy a truck. What do you have? What do you like? Oh, I have a Ford F-150. You always do that. And people with legal needs, wow, they're really either they're in trouble or their family's in trouble. They've got a business problem, or whatever. It's a really important issue to them, and it's very emotional. So they don't just jump on Google or watch a TV ad. They ask, wow, I've got this problem and I don't know who to use. Have you ever had this, and who did you use? 92% of the time, your potential clients are asking people. So if your people, your clients, your referral network are ready to say, you know what, Hugo Gomez at Abogados Now is, fill in the blank there. That statistic really drives home how important it is to have a robust referral network that you take good care of. And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, it just seems like if that's not fueling a majority of your business for at least a year or two, like, everything's sort of irrelevant. That should be like where all of your attention should be in the beginning. I say this especially for new practices. So yeah, why don't we get into building referral next? So I know there's another slide here. So let's talk about like curating, building that referral network, prior clients, other partner law firms. Like, we've talked to other folks, and we've mentioned a few names before we started, Doug, of other consultants and coaches in your line of work that have their own strategies. Like, what's unique to the strategies that you bring to the table for building and curating these referral networks?
Yeah, great question. And I think when I'm having kind of an initial kickoff session with an attorney or with a firm, and we're looking at places where they're spending their energy. Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm a member of the Home Builders Association or the Chamber of Commerce, or I go to the quarterly luncheon for the Bar Association, whatever it happens to be. They kind of randomly do that, but maybe not with a lot of focus.
Yeah.
So when we're saying, like, now that we know where your clients are coming from, your new clients are coming from, where is that referral network for you? Oh, it's going to be the PTA or my youth soccer league, or wherever you find, hey, I actually get a lot of referrals out of that. Okay, let's organize that. Let's focus on maybe 5 of those for the coming year, and then get intentional actions for each one of them so that you build that and you curate that network better.
Got it. And I believe you have a slide deck to show this. Is that right?
Yeah, I think the next one might be helpful for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of related to the whole referral network thing. this is a bunch of statistics that came out of the ABA. And the question to potential clients is, what do you find important when you're going to select a lawyer or a law firm? And you see what all the results are. And again, this is, I think, really helpful for lawyers and maybe even more so for solos. Oh, I need to have my bio updated. I need to write articles. I need to be on LinkedIn. Yeah,
Right.
all of those things are important, but look at that number one most important factor to a potential client is a referral.
Right.
Somebody used you, they had a good result, they knew your name, and I'm going to reach out to you. Wow, like any of us, that's so powerful. Yeah, they'll probably after that call, okay, thank you. Sally Gomez at Gomez and Lopez. Hang up, Sally Gomez. Okay, I am going to look at her website. I am going to look at an article she wrote. All that stuff matters, but what was most important is somebody saying, call Sally Gomez.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I think marketing helps, especially in the volume of generating inquiries and generating chances of more referrals. But you just have to be out there. Like you mentioned the PTA. In a prior episode, I mentioned someone just going to sports games, go to Laker games, foster a lot of connections that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just have to be out there. So what do you say to attorneys who say, I don't have time for this?
Well, that'll be a short conversation because I'd probably be rather direct about it. Like you need to make time for appropriate focused places where you should be involved. It might be a nonprofit, whatever it happens to be. And gosh, just one quick story. I was working with an attorney in San Francisco, and we were developing a business plan for her, and she was tracking or sharing, I do this and this and this and this. And we realized that she probably spends about 100 hours a year. This kind of relates back to the whole time issue as well. Yeah, between going to this luncheon and going to that conference and going to the quarterly lunch of the Home Builders Association, she was in real estate. And we tracked all that for a year. I actually am pretty busy, but it's all very scattered. It's not strategic or organized.
Yeah.
So we, back to this question, we said, where are the areas that most of your referrals come from? Oh, mostly these three organizations. Okay, let's take that 100 hours and focus it now. You're going to write articles for them. You're going to speak at their annual conference. You're going to go to their luncheons, and those are going to get much more attention, and you'll get a much greater return, but you'll also be focused.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, pick a few that make good sense to you, and then kind of do a deep dive with each one of them. Don't spread your butter too thin on a piece of toast kind of thing. Be really focused.
I think we'll get into the 12-month planning, but I think that's going to be really important. But one thing I want to share is that I find that marketing planning is oftentimes way over-engineered. And to the extent that a lot of attorneys that I talk to, when they think about business development, they think that they have to create these like really sophisticated like roadmaps and like very predictable tasks. And I think you're right. Just start small, like start with one thing, like join a group, find out what content they're interested in, either live or virtually or through the written word, and just give them content, give them your time, give a presentation. You're going to earn more the more you give away, I find. And the practice that we have at Avogados now is more is more. Everyone says less is more. We disagree. Just the more places you're at, the more it compounds. It really does. So the more attention, it just comes back to you, especially if you're giving stuff away.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, though, we're going to get into the 12-month planning. How much of the 12-month planning has to do with business development versus other disciplines or habits that you think attorneys should form if they're in the path of like transforming their firm? Yeah,
great question. I'm not trying to make too much of a plug here, but I have a YouTube channel, and it's easy to find at Lawyer Biz Dev, at Lawyer Biz Dev on YouTube, or you can search my name on LinkedIn or YouTube. And I post videos regularly. And one of those is, and one of the most popular ones is developing good business development habits. And so that's a whole nother presentation we could do together, Hugo. And it's really, really quite interesting. So yeah, one of the habits is being regular and consistent and carving out time for yourself. So that I would say is probably the most fundamental good habit to have. And it definitely relates to this 12-month calendar that we're going to look at. Let me just share one more thing quickly about this planning being either more is more or less is more, or being just too much. Mm-hmm. In the coaching modules that I have on my website, there are 5 of them. And one of them is doing a business plan for lawyers. And that's the number one question I get. How do I do a plan? And mine is 8 pages long, right? Not a huge binder, not binders. Yeah, as you fill it out, it starts to grow, but it's like, here are the core areas. Here are the core things you need to do in each one of them. It's 8 pages long. It's not a big, huge endeavor. And attorneys can do it on half a Saturday with a cup of coffee and be much better organized.
I love that. And so I'm just, before we get into the calendar, when attorneys want to build this thing out, can they work with you directly, or do they work with your team? Can you illustrate, like, what does working with the law practice growth system look and feel like?
Yeah, sure. After doing this for a number of years and growing my own practice and growing practices with lawyers and with firms, I realized, kind of like the business plan, there really are some core essentials that anybody could do.
Yeah.
So on my website, let me create all of the kind of the outline. Let me record a 1-hour video that walks you through it with some takeaways afterwards, or a worksheet or a business plan. And there are 5 core strategies that are on that on my website. So some attorneys, I just talked to one yesterday that said, I just went through that. It's $875 for these 5 core sessions, but I want some kind of one-on-one time afterward. And so many times it's a hybrid. Do that, and if that satisfies all your needs and you're on the road to growth, great. Check in with me now and again. Let me know how I can help. But if you do that and then say, I still want to have an hour a week with you or an hour a month, we do that as well. So it's a bit of both, Hugo.
That's fantastic. Awesome. So let's take a look at the calendar, because this is like the meat and potatoes of it all. So can you describe what we're looking at?
Yes, sure. When we go through that plan, or we go through this whole process, or with that attorney in San Francisco, or with your clients as they're listening to this, one of the marketing outreach, I guess most important areas is client and referral sources. And so this is not every marketing calendar you might have. This is, let's identify 3 really important clients to you for business, either new matters from them or referrals from them. Mm-hmm. And let's identify 3 referral sources that are good for you. Mm-hmm. Now let's lay them out where you're going to reach out to them once a quarter. So this is really fun to do this like in a larger setting when I'm talking to a big group, because I can just see them relax. Like, oh, I thought client outreach was this really spammy, I've got to hit them with something every week, and oh, this sounds terrible. No, client 1 in January, client 1 again in April, client 1 again in July, and client 1 again in October. 4 times a year, you're going to reach out to those clients that matter to you with something of value. Hey, saw this article, and I think we have some outreach ideas here that we might go through.
Yeah.
So this is just a very simple way to say, after we've identified 3 important clients, 3 important referral sources, let's just map it out. And here's what you're going to do to stay top of mind with them and stay focused and intentional and consistent for yourself.
So simple. Not easy, but simple.
Right. It takes a while to get here, but once you get here, you're like, okay, I get it. And man, at the end of 12 months, that client that got 4 useful pieces from you, a letter, a note, a book, a LinkedIn forwarding something of interest, they feel so well taken care of. And they feel like you're top of mind with them. Back to that 92% referral statistic. This is making these people ready to send you work, ready to send you referrals.
I find that like when I talk to attorneys about this concept, they think it's a misconception, or there is a misconception that this is only for like, corporate attorneys or business attorneys who get repeat retainers and all. But I'm like, no, like what if you get, let's talk about a car accident attorney, a PI attorney, and one of your clients was a church leader, a teacher, a PTA group leader. That person is a hub.
You
And
bet.
maybe they may not have yielded the largest settlement. Maybe they may not have, maybe they were a pain in the ass client. Let's just be honest. But they have a lot of leverage for you. Like you should maintain contact with that person, because that person could be a soapbox for you. That person could be a big source of clients if they mention you to their network. Let's say they're a little more sociable than your average client. That's probably a very good thing. So do you find that the more important clients in the C category can vary from not just the value, the lifetime value of the client, but also just kind of their position in their community?
Yeah, completely. Who uses the term mavens?
Mm-hmm.
If you and Mo Bunnell is one of the greats in this field with coaching professional services, and his book is called The Snowball System, and the second title is Turning Clients into Raving Fans.
I love that.
So yeah, it's a church leader, a PTA leader, or somebody that owns a house painting company or whatever. They know a lot of people. They come across a lot of people in their life, and you'd have to figure out, all right, what is the proper way to reach out to them 4 times a year? It might be different than a business client or a corporate client or whatever. It's a real estate developer, but you should be able to come up with reasonable ways, and that's what we're going to look at here, I think, to stay top of mind with them in a very natural, easy way for them and for you.
And so the bottom category, these are the referral sources, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so what do you find is the same practice, give away, be in touch, make a cadence out of each. What's the difference in the strategy, the outreach strategy from the more client facing versus the referral source facing community?
Yeah. Well, a client, say you're a business attorney and you have that client is in the whatever, they're a real estate developer. Well, the outreach to a real estate developer might be a little bit different than a referral source. So yes, you do need to kind of make sure that this fits the audience, so to speak. But gosh, let's say a referral source happens to be the Orange County Bar Association, for example. Wow, I know a lot of attorneys through there. They send me work when they can't do it, or they're conflicted out, or it's not their type of practice, but they know me. So that referral source, hey, here's something interesting in their work. Hey, the luncheon is coming up in March. Can we go together? I want to introduce somebody to you. Staying on top of that referral network would be done a bit differently than how to stay on top of a client. Right. But again, 4 times a year, not too taxing on you or on them.
Right. I love that. And so I believe there's one more component, like where you could share like the outreach strategies. Is that right?
Yes, if you want to. It was one of the.
Yeah, let's do that. I know we're coming up on time, but I'm really curious if you could just kind of summarize some of like the greatest hits in that next slide.
Yeah, and I won't go through them all. And somebody can say, "Oh, let me pause this right here, or let me do a screenshot." Yeah, right. And let me look through these, because here are 4. Because that's what one of the questions that attorneys will say. What would I talk about? You tell me I'm supposed to reach out to him 4 times a year. What would I say? Hey, here's 14 things you could do. Oh, okay. Plug any one of these in, and gosh, if you did 4 of them, this list will last you over 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? Because here's 14 things that you can do. And you'll naturally, when you get better at this, you'll naturally come up with all kinds of useful value add ways. But these are all excellent ideas.
What's your favorite, Doug, out of all these 14?
I like face-to-face, lunch or a coffee.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm going to this Home Builders Association quarterly luncheon, and they're going to be talking about new eminent domain issues. And you're an eminent domain lawyer. Do you know this group? Come to lunch with me.
Yeah.
You're developing that referral source, another lawyer. You're helping that organization, the Home Builders Association, because you're bringing in a potential member. It's a win-win. You spend time, coffee, lunch, inviting somebody to an event together. those would be, I would say, would be the tops that I would consider.
Yeah, and one of the things I was talking to an attorney in New York about a week ago, Lower East Side. He has a pickup basketball game for all the attorneys in his referral network, and it's like a private Facebook group, and they always announce like where they're gonna play, like every week. It's every Wednesday night, every Friday night, something like that. I'm like, okay, well, it's not coffee, it's not lunch, but it's like it's a way to maintain connection, and it's a way to like hang out and talk shop while also doing something you want, get a good workout.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. So, this is a great like primer, but like make it your own. Like make, whether it's the client facing or the referral source facing, it's like, or both, like make it your own. So
I agree. And just one thought on that, because
Sure.
it's such an emotional and important decision for potential clients. Like, wow, I've got an issue here and I've got to get this resolved and I need an attorney. Either with the referral source or with that client that you've spent FaceTime with them, you've played basketball or you've had coffee, or you've invited them to a Lakers game or whatever. It's not something that people just, back to the Ford F-150 analogy. Okay, I can buy it at any Ford dealership, so I'm just shopping price. The color I want, the options I want, who has the best price for that. Hiring an attorney is a lot different than that. So FaceTime is even more important to create that connection and that bond.
Totally. Doug, I feel like we could have talked extensively. I would love to have you back at one of our summits or one of our future programs to get more nerdy about business development for attorneys. There's so much to cover here, but thank you so much for being on. If folks want to talk to you directly, sign up for your courses. I mean, it's under $1,000. That's a steal for the content that you're covering. What's the best place for them to reach you, to sign up, etc.?
Sure. My website is lawyerbizdev, B-I-Z, lawyerbizdev.com.
Great.
And I'm on LinkedIn under my name. I'm on YouTube under, easiest just to find it under my name, or Lawyer Business Development. Or just shoot me an email, Doug@DouglasHastings.com. Happy to go over, issues or resources or any way that I can help your audience, the people that you're working with, Hugo.
Amazing. Doug, thank you so much. To our entire team who put together another great event, thank you very much. And to everyone watching, thanks for carving out time for us. And until next time, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Hugo.